Hey everyone, welcome back to OCD Recovery's YouTube channel, where I'm going to talk about something that every single OCD and anxiety sufferer, addict, I just woke Daisy up by talking so loud and startling her. Daisy's the guest today. Every person going through something very hard in their life will more than likely have to go through this one exact thing. You cannot escape it. The more you try to escape it, the more you hold yourself back. And that is making progress while feeling no different at all, if not feeling worse. Before I go any further, please subscribe. Hit that like button down below. Let me know what you think about our content. Please comment down below. I love engaging with people in the community. It's one of my favorite things. It brings me a lot of joy. And Phil at OCDRecovery.com. Thank you, Phil, for all the hard work. I don't say it enough. You do a lot of great things behind the scenes. People really don't understand how much work Phil puts in to keep the business running with Rob, back-end stuff. And it's an amazing thing. All the content we do and everything, the company's growing day by day all over the world. And this is something that almost nobody explains correctly. It's always explained incorrectly. If anything, it's actually not explained ever, because we want the fluff. We want things to be rainbow. We want to see a post that says, just let go, with a person with a dandelion in their hand. And it's completely nonsense and just doesn't work that way. So, I wake you up, boo-boo. She's like, please shut up, Dad. When you are going through OCD and anxiety recovery, you will have large periods of time where you feel like you are making no progress. You understand conceptually that, and this is why logic and unconditional acceptance are not the same thing but have crossover. You understand by saying, okay, I'm back at work. I'm dating again. My marriage is improving. My things with my fiance are getting better. My fitness is improving. I'm eating better. There's a lot. I'm not vaping as much. I'm not watching adult websites, but I feel absolutely no different at all. How can you stay internally motivated or driven when that is happening? That is the number one question people ask me with my personality and the way I am. How in the literal fuck did you stay concentrated? How in the shit did you keep yourself going forward when everything in your body was pulling you back and you felt no different? Now, this was not something I built overnight. I've been practicing this for years and years and years. And even before my OCD was chronic, I still had to practice this throughout grad school and undergrad. I was in school for almost 8 years, for a long time. After high school, and I practiced this skill over an extended period of time. People don't see that. They only see my period of OCD suffering for multiple years. They don't see I've been building these skills for almost 15 years now. So it's been a long time. You don't get it right all the time, but I've trained myself to do things when I don't want to do it. And I always talk about that analogy that I kind of came up with. It's like a meter, right? Every time you have a task, the meter starts. And the procrastination starts on that task. And the goal is to cut that off in an efficient problem-solving way, not an OCD problem-solving way, and getting things done. Most things in your life do not need a lot of forethought. Yes, philosophical depth. Yes, talking about complex topics is important in many ways. It stimulates your brain. It's also good for building your intelligence. It's also good for building your skills in life. Good for building your skills in life. But a lot of things don't need that. You don't have to think hard about turning the camera on and making a YouTube video. You just have to do it, or else you get stuck in analysis paralysis. And the same thing goes for OCD and anxiety recovery. You don't have to motivate yourself to read 20 pages. You don't have to motivate yourself to go to the gym. You don't have to motivate yourself to eat healthy. What you need is consistent day in, day out work during the monotonous grind of not feeling any better. And that is a skill. And you do this by changing your belief systems and changing your actionable traits with, hey, look, when I do these things, I'm probably not going to feel any better. When I do these things, I'm probably going to have to build the skill for a long time before I reap the benefits of my rewards. And this goes for everything in life. Why do they call the second Friday in every single January Quitters Day with the gym, for an example? That's, at least I saw articles, that's what they call it. It's because people don't see any difference. You typically do not see differences, substantial differences to most things in your life after months and months or sometimes years of consistent day in, day out practice. If Ray Dalio, who wrote one of the best books, in my opinion, called Principles, very interesting guy, great book. I recommend it after you've read the books on the reading list. It is a hefty book. I think it's like 600 pages. If that guy, who is a multi-billionaire, who owned one of the largest hedge funds on earth, who's probably very disciplined, said, and I quote, I typically found it took me 18 months to change a habit. If that person who is more disciplined than 99.9999999% of humanity is saying it takes him 18 months to change a habit, it's probably not going to take you 1 month. You hear stuff like this all the time. It's so problematic for the youth. I had a guy on a call not that long ago that said, I saw an article saying you should be able to get over watching porn in 1 month. Bullshit. 95% of the people I work with can't even get past 10 days. And I work with hundreds of people. It takes a long time for them to get to even 100 days no adult websites. So it's going to take you a long time. The realistic perspectives is so important. That's why another one of my favorite things by Albert Ellis is this. 3 things that probably create a good life perspective is optimism, skepticism, and realism. You need some skepticism more than likely. If you're too optimistic, you're jumping on stage, clapping your hands, going, woo, woo, life is great, and it's great, and it's great, and then your kid dies of cancer. So it's just not that way. The realities of life. Skepticism is also very important too, because if you're not skeptical at all, but by the way, skepticism and pessimism have slight overlaps, but if you're extremely pessimistic and you're like, well, I'm just skeptic, that's not skepticism. Skepticism is, I don't know if that makes sense to me yet. Let me do a little bit, maybe more research, not in the OCD way. I have to say that because people go crazy with that. But let me look into this a little bit more. Let me think for myself and make a recommendation. Pessimism is you didn't even listen to what someone was saying, going, person's a moron, idiot, bye, see ya. So that is the problem. There's no in-depth analysis of looking at things and thinking for yourself and also accepting you could be wrong. But the reality is you are going to have super long periods of time where you are building your skills in your life and you are feeling no different at all. That is going to happen to you, and it's a skill. You have to look at it like you're learning a new language. If I said to people on calls, if I took you and dropped you off in the middle of Beijing and I said, I'll pick you up in a year. You said to me, I don't speak Mandarin or Cantonese. I think those are the both languages they speak there. I said, good luck. You'll learn, hopefully, eventually, culture, language, all sorts of stuff, social norms. You're not going to learn that in 1 month. It's going to take a while to build that repetitive skill, and it's going to be very frustrating. The world today at large is missing the realistic outcomes or realistic expectations of building a skill, and this is no different. When people are telling you that you're going to make progress in 12 weeks doing a CBT course, they are lying. Most people see no difference in 10 to 12 weeks in the way they're feeling at all. They might have some internal motivation because they're back at work, but they are still absolutely stuck almost 24/7 for an extended period of time. Phil@OCDrecovery.com. Let me know what you think. Please get back to me on this and hope to see you soon. Have a good one, everyone.